Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, in the studio Tuesday morning. You know, it's funny. The experts, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman last night, going into the matchup, the final wild card weekend matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Houston Texans, are just talking about what's at stake, the season for each team, and then both of them say, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Well, yes, that's true if you're the Steeler, because the Houston Texans defense is out of this world.
And we all knew that ahead of time, and the Steelers responded by totaling grand total of 6. And that was it. That's 2 field goals for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Houston defense was all over Aaron Rodgers. He couldn't get anything done. 17 of 33 through the air for 148 yards. 17 of 33. And he was sacked 4 times. 1 interception. Rodgers had a terrible game, and he admitted it afterwards, said, hey, he had just an awful game. But the Houston defense is the reason for it. We all knew it. Kansas City Chiefs can certainly testify to that. Houston's a tough team, and now they go to play the New England Patriots. C.J. Stroud had a very nice game, over 250 yards. Woody Marks running very well, had 112 yards rushing for them. It was all Houston. And you knew, or at least some of us did anyway, that the Houston Texans were going to go into Pittsburgh and give the Steelers an awfully tough time. Texans win it by a score of 30-6. Houston 30, Pittsburgh 6, and Pittsburgh really never in the ball game. Now the Houston Texans head on to New England to play the New England Patriots, and that will be this weekend, coming up this weekend. I suspect it's going to be on Sunday. And the fact of the matter remains, the Patriots are going to be in for a tough time. Any team that plays Houston, now they aren't dynamite on offense, although they did have 30 points last night, but it's a team that can really do some things. And as everybody knows, defense, that's the key. You've got to win it right there. You've got to have the strong D, and they do have it.
They, if CJ can keep calm, he was off last night. He was throwing balls that were just probably 2 to 3 feet right in front of the receivers. Luckily, he's got a couple of guys that can go up and get him. Actually, a lot of his receivers can do that. But if he calms down and he don't throw those picks last night, that could have been another 14 points the Texans had on the Steelers, man. We're talking almost 44-6. So if Stroud calms down, I like their chances against New England. Who knows, though? It's anyone's game. And on that note, we got ourselves another wild weekend.
This will be 2 games on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. Now, the 2 games on Saturday will involve teams that had the bye. The Denver Broncos, who had the 1 bye for the American Conference, they will host the Buffalo Bills. And the Seattle Seahawks, they had the bye in the National Conference. They will take on the San Francisco 49ers for the 3rd time this season, and the 2nd time in about 3 or 4 weeks, somewhere around there. Then on Sunday, the Rams are in Chicago to play the Bears at Soldier Field, and the Texans go to Foxborough to challenge the New England Patriots. The winner plays for the conference crown, followed, that's the semifinals. That's next weekend, not this coming, but next weekend, followed by the Super Bowl on February 8th in Santa Clara, California. So we're getting it narrowed down now. It'll be the Final 4 this weekend, and then right on to the championship game itself.
Now your dog's out of the hunt.
Long time ago.
Well, who do you like going into this?
I'll tell you, the Chicago Bears are really an interesting team, and so are the Houston Texans. I really do like both those teams, but we haven't seen Seattle play. We have seen Denver play. I really think the Seahawks probably have to have the nod as to the team to beat in a Super Bowl game, but then again, you got to get there first, and they aren't there yet.
So now we've got something else that's near and dear to Ned's heart, and that's the first Grand Slam tennis event. When's that starting?
That is going to start on January the 18th, and it's played at Melbourne Park in Melbourne, Australia, and you'll see all the big names, and this is a very, very big deal. The Australian Open is one of the 4 tennis Grand Slams, and it's obviously the first one, being in the new year. Of course, it's summer down under in Australia, and it'll be very hot. It always is down there, but you get some very good players. Of course, you'll have to think that Sinner and Sabalenka will be the top individual center among the men and Sabalenka among the ladies. But we'll see. Strange things sometimes happen under the Australian sun.
That sounds like a saying down there. Some of the world is still pretty cold. Other parts of it are real nice, like Hawaii. And we got a golf tournament coming up. Usually there's two, right, though? Only one this year?
It's very interesting that you would mention that. Yeah, it's a Sony Open coming up in Honolulu, and they tee it off on Thursday. And it's the first event. But wait a minute. There are two events in Hawaii. There always are. The Tournament of Champions to start things out in Maui, and then they move over to Honolulu. But no, not this year. The Tournament of Champions was canceled in Maui. Now you're saying why? Too much golf? Is that what it is? No. It was a drought that they're having in Maui. And the officials there for the utility systems on the island of Maui said, hey, look, we really can't afford to spend a lot of water and so forth on the greens here. Even though we're surrounded by water, it's Pacific Ocean, we're still having this drought circumstance, so we better cancel that, as opposed to, they had the terrible fires there 2 years ago. And that really destroyed much of their topography and so forth and so on. So the Tournament of Champions is canceled. They're not playing it. The official opener now to the PGA Tour is this Thursday, and it's the Sony Open in the Waialae Country Club in Honolulu.
They should be so lucky. Get a chance to win that kind of money and be in Hawaii at the same time.
Pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty nice is right. We've got another week and another top list of college basketball teams. Any shaking up at the top?
Well, the two top teams, men's and women's, are Arizona and, of course, Connecticut. Everybody knew that Connecticut would be there. Arizona remains undefeated, and they're followed by Iowa State, the men's team from Connecticut, which is a former national champion, third, Michigan fourth, and Purdue fifth. Iowa State plays tonight at Kansas, and they are number 2 in the country. That's a big one for the Iowa State Cyclones and for the KU Jayhawks. Now, the UConn Lady Huskies, folks, they're the reigning national champs. They are the colossus of women's basketball over the years. They are in a winning streak now that is 33 straight wins. They haven't lost a game in the Big East Conference ever, and they are number 1 in America. They're pretty doggone good. Get this, Mike. This is a really interesting stat, in my opinion. They're playing in the Big East, which is Marquette and Georgetown and Providence. Villanova is very good. But in the Big East games that Connecticut has played so far, their average win is 47 points. They have run teams out of the ballpark.
Yes, they have.
Connecticut is followed by South Carolina, UCLA, Texas, and Vanderbilt. That are the top 5 teams in women's basketball.
Speaking of basketball, one of the Bears and Lady Bears back out on the court.
Bears are playing tomorrow night. They'll be on the road in Bowling Green, Kentucky to play a very good Western Kentucky team. Then the Lady Bears are also on the road. They'll fly out of here probably today to go to El Paso, Texas, and play the Lady Miners from Texas, El Paso. So a couple teams on the road, and that's, of course, because the Great Southern Bank Arena is site of the Tournament of Champions, and you couldn't mix the two of them, so the schedule is on the road.
Ned, you stay off the road, and I will see you mañana.